Noocracy, future possible forms of government that will possibly rule the world one day. By Ash D. Solomon. The coming and going of political systems in this world shown throughout history. The ever faster race in technology, social belief systems and the trends of change illustrate that this ridiculous trend of change will brutally continue to the end. The entire human race will eat, rest and sleep as nothing has changed, or nothing did change. Under the wise, this race will take to the perfect solution of a brand new government system. Noocracy, governments of the wise. Vladimir Vernadsky has been quoted in saying, "A social and political system based on the priority of the human mind, an idealistic world brain specifically set up for world governance." Plato quoted a philosophical observation, "Government of the wise." It has been argued that noocracy is a viable political system, a system that basically is natural evolution of democracy. Noocracy outgrows democracy in a natural course of political evolution, a political and social system set up through the priorities of the human mind. A system that can adapt and bend, a system that is conscious and operates on autonomous branches of its own knowing. Not too unlike a hive of bees. A hive-like community of the like mind. These same minds all interlinked as these individual thinking brains, both natural and artificial, are unified. Most likely through an informational network such as an internet solely for the governing of a future world. Another term for this is mathematikoi back in the days of Pythagoras. A political system, a utopian system or place, known as City of the Wise. This was planned by Pythagoras to be built in Italy by him and his followers. Although in modern history, this radical political system is known as noocracy. Also known as the authority of the crowd. Plato defined this system as the entire human race's future political system. The power of the collective brain as opposed to separate individuals speaking for the wider community. Mikhail Epstein illustrated noocracy as, the thinking matter increases its mass in nature. The future of humanity will evolve political systems ever so forwardly that noocracy will undoubtedly have happily descended upon us. The positives of noocracy are that this system operates without the usual belief systems prevalent in many voters' behavioral and cognitive minds. These being, most wide community members only process political information in a mostly biased fashion. Or they simply find the process of storing all this current political information as being useless to their own lives and surroundings. Or sadly yet in reality many potential voters consciously prefer to remain ignorant. A political system of noocracy effectively takes out of the system the elements such as irrationality, misinformation, ignorance. Taking out of the equation wasted votes. Far more appropriately putting the power of the vote in the hands of the purely informed on all matters. Completely taking irrationality out of the vote. Removing the element of self-motivation and partisan stimulators and replacing these with dispassionate and 100% rational mental cogitations. Clearer decision-making, hence the non-existence of aligning oneself with a political party or team for that matter. The age-old inherent tribal psychology we find increasingly hard to disattach from ideological inclinations or not. Rational voting is key. Ongoing education, calculated choices equal better policies. Acquisition of more and correct information ultimately eliminates misuse of power. Current systems democracies also have the very real presence of personal incentives that drive politicians, policymakers and voters to subjective reasonings, as opposed to purely objective reasonings. How is a wise man or woman identified? Is it through level of education, type of education, philosophy, religion, Scientific thought, age, experience. Ambitious people will always seek to appear wise. The ambitious will always find loopholes, easy roads, plenty of backs to climb over on the way up. Appearing wise is far easier than being wise. In history, humans do not always support wise people. As good a man as Dwight Eisenhower was, if wisdom was paramount in voting decision-making in America at the time, Adlai Stevenson would easily have been rationally voted in instead of Eisenhower. Being highly intelligent doesn't necessarily make a person a good leader. Along with the fallbacks that the current democratic political parties and systems have is that humans in power do not, and will not, consider all sides. They frequently above all else believe, and or talk themselves into their next speech exclaiming that they unequivocally have the answer, having far more real weight than real consideration. A new world system of noocracy, however long it takes to happen, will not only be the high conscious society but also the high empathic extant ever-evolving society. It is time to create and share. Time to collaborate with our environment and others. An environment where food and critical education are of ever-abundance. No need for borders, labels, race conventions. Live long and live. This is the possible priority of the human frame. By D. Solomon.